How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Chaos Prime here, and we're going to be looking at the whole Microsoft debacle and companies basically missing, the Xbox platform. They seem to be releasing games on pretty much everything that has a microchip in it, except the Xbox, and this has happened more and more. So in this video, we're hoping to go through a bit of that, have a little bit of a discussion, and basically see where this is going and why Xbox is having the troubles it's currently having. We also have some more news about Final Fantasy 16 and its emission from basically the Xbox platform, courtesy of Jez from Windows Central. But it's not looking good for Microsoft Xbox, and they really do need to sort some things out. Before we dive into the rest of that content, do consider checking out my stream tonight with Forspoken. I will be over at twitch.tv/ChaosPrimeZGaming. I'm still waiting to get authorized by YouTube. It's taking a little while, so the links aren't in the description. But you'll see it on screen now, and hopefully I'll see you there for the new DLC, which I do have early access to. Otherwise, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Right, so as we can see here, Microids has decided that it will release games on Xbox if the demand is strong enough. Now, this is in relation to the Inspector Gadget game, which has omitted Xbox. We have seen a bunch of other games also skip Xbox. We've seen Square Enix basically making the retro collection, the Pixel Masters, remasters of Final Fantasy 1 to 6, which could easily work on Xbox. There's literally no reason for it to skip Xbox platform. Final Fantasy 16, which was also offered to Microsoft, they were outbid by Sony to make that an exclusive. Now, this is a major problem. With the Activision deal on the fence, I'd say, it looks like it's going to go through, and they have been told they can close it. Will that make any big of a difference? For me personally, not really, because I don't like Activision Blizzard games for the most part, not even Diablo. But I know a bunch of you do, but those of you in the UK, you're pretty much kind of out of luck if it does go free for the time being, because you're not going to get any of those on Game Pass. You are going to get a worse deal. But that aside, Microsoft really isn't doing enough to, garner reputation here. With the failure of Redfall, whether you think it's a great game or a bad game, regardless of what it is, there were technical issues, and there's no hiding that from all the videos that were released. The AI just, in its simplest sense, was dumb. But as you can see here from what Jez is saying, this is where we're at with Xbox platform now. Developers think their platform isn't big enough to be worth considering. And this is a double-edged sword of Game Pass. Now, I know people are going to turn around and tell me, but Game Pass doesn't affect sales. Game Pass helps sales. It really does not. It doesn't. Because if I see Halo Infinite on Game Pass and it's on my subscription, I'm not buying it. If I see Starfield on the subscription, I'm not buying it. If I see a third-party game that's day one and I finish it on Game Pass, I'm not buying it. And I'm not the only one that says this. So this creates a massive problem, a massive dilemma for publishers. Because at the end of the day, they want to make money. Because that's where this all works, right? They need money, they need return on investment. Porting a game to Xbox isn't as simple as just, flipping a switch. There is a lot of work that goes into porting. Regardless of the actual game, there is still effort that goes in. And as it stands, that's a massive, massive problem. Tom Warren here says it's the Windows Phone situation all over again. And that's a really crazy thought, because the Windows Phone really wasn't a bad phone. In fact, the Windows operating system was one of my favorite. I preferred it to Android and I preferred it to Apple. I loved the Windows Phone, but there was literally no support. And what happened to the Windows Phone when it had no support? It died. It died real fast. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to Xbox, because Game Pass is pretty much carrying it at the moment. But we do have a major problem with Xbox, because third parties simply are just ignoring them. They're not making it. And as silly as it sounds, an Inspector Gadget game like that made by Microids, no disrespect to the development team or anything, it's not like it's a God of War. And you have to consider demand. I think the demand for that game will be the same no matter what platform you place it on. It's an iconic franchise, probably not going to be a 10 out of 10. and it's probably going to have similar sales across the board. But the problem now is, if the game isn't on Game Pass, and there's limited spaces for Game Pass, as you all are aware, well, publishers have to think long and hard. Are Xbox gamers going to purchase this game as opposed to just playing another game on Game Pass? And that's a real dilemma. I think John Lennon here, I kind of feel like the popularity of Game Pass makes this tricky. Developers seem hesitant without a Game Pass deal. This is what I'm talking about. Which not all games can receive. The retail presence is also shrinking. It is, very quickly. It's frustrating to see when there should be a way to satisfy everyone. Stock situation doesn't help. Game Pass is a double-edged sword. Great for the titles which can join it. Slots are limited. Exactly what I said. But when you can't, are the sales good enough to justify a port? And it is not. And this is where the Microsoft millions come into play, because they have to pay above the odds to compensate for that. 50 million for Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy was not worth it. In my humble opinion, that game by Microsoft paying $50 million for that game wasn't worth it. It just wasn't, in my opinion. No way in hell was it worth it. I can't see how Microsoft got their return of investment on that. And I think those are the deals that people are expecting. They're looking to extort Microsoft in ways where they're going to make a lot of money, and it's just not going to happen. And when those don't return a return on their money, well, there's a problem. And, you're going to get your stupid trolls here, because I actually enjoyed Babylon, believe it or not. It was a game I streamed, it was a game I played. I literally only stopped playing it because they announced it was closing. That was it. Otherwise, I'd still be playing it. Strangers of Paradise, finished it. I really enjoyed it. Chrono Cross is Chrono Cross. Diofield was a game that I enjoyed, but I think the actual score is about right. That's fair. Valkyrie Elysium is a very good game. I think it could possibly get to about maybe 68, 69. I think 70 might be pushing it, but I enjoyed it, right? So I think some of these things are being taken out of proportion. A good game doesn't need to get 100 out of 100, or, a 10 out of 10. A game that is a 6 or 7 out of 10 can still be thoroughly enjoyable. People really need to understand that. But these games are on PlayStation, they're not on Xbox. So if I want to play these games, I go to PlayStation. And their ever-increasing library is just making it more and more appealing for everyone to tell Xbox, go away. And sure, Xbox has this, we want you to game anywhere, and you can play anywhere. xCloud is everywhere, on your phone, on your device, but those third-party games won't work on my phone. I can't go to the shop and buy Hogwarts Legacy and play it on my phone, can I? Or on my tablet? Or on my browser? It doesn't work that way. So though the concept of play anywhere on any device, play it the way you want, that only works for the Xbox games, but at the same time, publishers seeing this, well, sure, you might have 500 million players playing Xbox, but how many of them have a console that I can port my game to sell? Oh, you've only got 100 million, 20 million? Because 100 million is not going to happen. But 20 million, when PlayStation's got 80 million, guess who I'm going to prioritize my games on? I'm not going to prioritize it on Xbox because you just don't have a console presence. PC is weird. They're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So the one that you're going to prioritize is PlayStation. It's always going to be PlayStation. And I think this is something that people don't really get. And I kind of hope, that Microsoft needs to change. There we go. Xbox gamers, we've heard you loud and clear, aware of the strong demand for this title. We have worked hard, and now we can assure you that Inspector Gadget Mad Time Party will be available on Xbox Series X and S1 in digital format. Not retail box. Not like it will be anywhere else, but it's only going to be available in digital to save costs because they still do not trust Xbox gamers to buy the game. And I can assure you, this game will not sell well. We will come back to this and I'll try and find some sales numbers in a couple of months on this game. It will not have done well. You'll get to see the numbers on PlayStation and the Switch and everywhere else, and they will be probably double or triple the success of what it was on Xbox. Unless it's on Game Pass. If it's on Game Pass, it'll have way more players playing it. Because people will try it. And that, I'm afraid, is the biggest problem Xbox has right now. I think the Windows Phone syndrome is pretty much, spot on. I think that is as accurate as you're going to get. You've got a platform which is good. It's very good. You've got a platform that has all the makings to be very successful. But if you can't attract the third-party publishers like the Windows Store couldn't on the Windows Phone, your phone will die. I couldn't do basic stuff on my Windows Phone with like Word and stuff like that because, not Word, sorry, just other tools that I wanted to use. And it forced me to leave my phone. Like, it was crazy. I love the Windows Phone, but if I can't do the basic things I need to do with certain apps, even mobile games just weren't being released on it. They were just completely omitting Windows Phone. And in the end, I had to jump ship. And as I see this right now, the Xbox platform is heading in that direction. Sure, they have the best deal in gaming with Game Pass. It is the best deal in gaming. There is no denying that, right? No one can deny that. If you do deny it, you're delusional. But that is not enough. Hiding behind Game Pass as the best deal in gaming is not enough, because all it proves to people is that while you're having your games on the cloud or wherever it is, great. But those third-party publishers want those box sales. And if they're not getting that box sale, because you cannot guarantee it because you're not selling any Xbox hardware, that's a big problem. And that's something that Phil Spencer and Microsoft really need to figure out, and figure out fast. And if this means them being ultra aggressive in finding, in basically getting deals like Final Fantasy 16, if this means them being being the evil pricks that people want them to be, because that's all I'm hearing right now. Evil Microsoft, evil corporation, evil this, evil this. Be the evil pricks that people want you to be. Go out. Don't buy publishers. That's stupid. I know you're building your war chest for, in preparation for cloud gaming when that's hopefully one day going to be mainstream, because that is what people are expecting. And if it is, the war chest from Microsoft will be so powerful that everything else in comparison is going to pale. But we're not there yet. And right now, what you need to do is go out and secure those, those deals with companies like Capcom, like Konami, like Square Enix, like Sega, where you get your exclusives for a year on the Xbox platform first. Get those big hitters coming to Xbox first, and then you can start to change the way people react and see the Xbox platform. Because once it's on Xbox first and not on Game Pass, so people actually have to go out and pay money for the games, then you will see a difference in, the scales will turn. But until you rely on Game Pass, there's no reason to own an Xbox. If you don't own an Xbox, you can't buy third-party games that are not on Game Pass. If I'm a third-party publisher, I literally have no reason to release my game on your platform because it's not going to do well. That's it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.